Howdy, folks. Why D'Addario, XL Chromes, Flatwound, bass guitar strings? Why these puppies? I'm going to get to that in a minute, of course. Thank you very much for tuning in. I am Johnathan Ramcharan, actor, stand-up comedian extraordinaire. Performer to the bone, ladies and gentlemen, and damn proud of it. I have my own podcast, Johnathan Ramcharan, the podcast, available on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, my own website, Johnathan-Ramcharan.com. Yes. Current events, comedic raves, rants, the whole kit and caboodle, folks. You can't go wrong. So certainly give me a shot, when you get the chance, of course. Now, more importantly, why D'Addario, XL Chromes, Flatwound, bass guitar strings? For a few reasons. Number one, industry recognition. D'Addario, giants in the musical gear world. We're talking guitar strings, bass guitar strings. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if they made mandolin strings, banjo strings, Mandalorian strings, Baby Yoda plucking the old ukulele on some distant planet in a galaxy far, far away, man. You can't go wrong. D'Addario, reputable within the industry. And number two, the classic P bass sound. So this is actually a follow-up video. I recently purchased a Sawtooth EP series bass guitar, the classic P bass look. So I'm trying to get that classic P bass sound. And flat wound strings, they're known for that mellow, warm, dull, Motown, jazz, R&B, pop sound. They are tape wound, meaning they are flat to the touch, smooth to the touch, versus the general round wound. Round wound bound cow, round wound bound cow. How now brown cow, how now brown cow, how now brown cow. They are flat wound versus the typical round wound string. And that apparently alleviates the finger sound, like that kind of finger fuzz that you hear sometimes in playing. And also, gives it that smooth, mellow, thuddy kind of sound, reminiscent of classic Motown, jazz, R&B. And, I've never played flat wound strings before, so I thought, why not give it a shot, And part of what my channel is about exploring music. You know what I mean? It's a hobby for me. I'm a hobbyist at playing music, and sometimes you can get yourself in a rut, You're in a little bit of a rut. You're playing the same songs. You're not really advancing. You feel like you're stuck in the mud. Then you have a flashback from your early days, musical theory class. You ever get trapped next to a piano with some of those musical theory eggheads, They got perfect pitch. Oh, they know their circle of fifths, their circle of fourths. You're stuck next to a piano. Ding, ding, ah, ah. Me, ma, me, ma, me. Me, ma, me, ma, me. It's like, would you knock it off? Your musical theory mumbo jumbo, perfect pitch, cycle of fifths, cycle of fourths. So that's what my channel is about, to a degree. Boning up on the old musical theory, because it is important, folks. To any of y'all youngins at home, any of y'all munchkins, picking up the bass for the first time. Let's say you're just getting out of jail, looking for a way to quiet the demons in your head instead of returning to that nefarious life of crime that you're so obsessed with. You pick up an instrument. These are things that help enhance you as a player. So that's partially what my channel is about as well when I do these little demo review videos. So, I figured, hey, why not take the challenge of trying something new? Flat string guitars, flat string bass guitar strings, flat wound strings. Give it a shot, something new I've never done before. And also experimenting with a new sound, and yeah, why not? It's a new year, 2021, to infinity and beyond. So stay tuned, folks. I'm going to show you a flashback of what this P-bass sound, the new P-bass that I picked up with the factory strings. I'm going to show you a flashback of what it sounds like with just the factory strings compared to the new Flatwound strings. So stay tuned, folks. And there you have it, folks. Straight from the horse's mouth. Straight from the horse's mouth. The comparison of the factory round wound bass strings versus the Flatwound XL Chromes by D. Dario. Yes. Personally, I like it. Different. I kind of go back and forth. I'm not 100% for or against flat wounds. Sometimes when I be plucking them, I'm really digging the sound, the feel. Sometimes I kind of I hear the difference where it's like, it is sort of dull and it's not as bright, but also it has a different kind of feel and it's funky and it's groovy in itself. So I'm exploring. So it's like, I don't know. I'm enjoying it, you know? Flat wound bass guitar strings are famous for longevity. They can last an eternity plus a day. So, we'll see. Maybe I'll do a little follow-up, check in after a couple months or something, see how I'm digging them. So far, so good. One thing I noticed off the hop that's a little tricky is due to the flat wound texture, dimension of the strings, your fingers kind of slip a little bit. They don't quite grab the string in a way I'm used to, having always played round wounds. So it's like, especially when you're doing hammer-ons and pull-offs. When you're doing them hammer-ons and pull-offs, you kind of slip and it's kind of hard to... It's going to take a little adjustment, something new. So I noticed that the hammer-ons and the pull-offs don't come off quite as smooth. Not that they did before, but, it's a little tricky. Could be a bit of a doozy, folks. Bear that in mind. And, but so far, so good. I hope that was informative. I hope you enjoyed it. And hit me up, jr.thepodcast@gmail.com. Questions, queries, or qualms, any feedback. I certainly would love to hear from you. jr.thepodcast@gmail.com. Thank you very much, folks. Thank you very much, folks.